Chatty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the PODCAst, tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chatty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chatty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wrasslin with them Wrasslin boys. I'm the POT alongside my tag team partner Big E, and we're here to bring you another episode of premium wrestling content. What's going on, bro?
What you say, brother? Hey, man, episode 64, man. Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome
hey, man,
to Wrasslin.
64 Impala. Cruising down the street in my 6'4". Hey, man, but welcome back once again to Welcome to Wrasslin. You got any 64s to put out there?
No, I ain't go deep in the bag on that one. But what I ain't go deep in the bag. But what I do want to say is like, comment, and subscribe, people. You know, and then the ones who already subscribe and the ones who watch every week or who watches whenever you can watch. If you're watching this right now, thank you very much. But like, comment, subscribe, people.
Hell yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the alarm bell, hit everything that's capable of being hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey man, we got quite a bit to talk about this week in wrestling. So I say let's just jump on in it, and we'll start from the beginning. We'll start at the first of all. Last week, let's rewind a little bit because we did leave one little thing out that we didn't talk about, the Elimination Chamber, and that was the debut of Danhausen. So we missed that.
Right.
It didn't feel like we missed it because it's not what anybody was looking for. I know you did hear a small rumble of somebody saying that was what's going to happen, but nobody was expecting that. So
I didn't even take that seriously. When I heard it, I'm just like, I just breezed right past it, you know, so.
Yeah, well, we'll follow him right in there, and, you know, it's pretty entertaining as far as, you know, backstage segments and stuff. And, you know, so he put a curse on Dom, and we do have a new Intercontinental champion on Raw, and he goes by the name of Penta. So that was something. So we'll see. What's still got some stuff going on in the Judgment Day with Finn not letting JD interfere, and, you know, so that's coming soon. I don't know if they're going to break up or just lose Finn, but that's coming soon. They've actually had a long run as a faction.
Right.
WWE usually lets them go. You know what I'm saying? So they've really had a good run. So,
think about it. They've been around since WrestleMania 38 when Edge fought AJ and Priest. Help Edge in that matchup. That's where it really started from. So, you know, for 4 years.
Yeah. So it looks like it'll either be coming to an end or at least and you got to think about it. You had Edge, you had Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest. They're Edge ain't even with the company anymore. And of course they're not. So it's like they've had, you know, it's just they've kept the name, just different members coming along. So, which is cool,
right?
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I dig it. I don't really see them having to do away with it, but I do see Finn Balor breaking away Thought it would have been already by now, but we'll see as far as what they set him up for WrestleMania and all
Right.
that. So we'll check into that. Hall of Fame announcement this week with Demolition. I guess I get it as far as them being a WWE team that was formed there. I know me and I know you. I know we see them as Road Warrior knockoffs. Was like their, it was like their Goldberg to Stone Cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I don't just really use that comparison, but I think you get what I'm saying. As far as,
right.
face
Which they wasn't the only ones. You had the Powers of Pain, and you had other tag teams over the years that they try to capitalize off the whole Road Warriors thing. I will say this: as far as WWE tag teams for the era they was in, they had a dominant run. Also, now I know we're talking to them as a tag team. It's also as Demolition, the tag team, but the one of them was the Masked Superstar. He had a hell of a run. Back in the late '70s, early '80s. Beefing with Mr. Wrestling #1 and Tommy Rich, and a host of others. And then the other one was Crusher Khrushchev, and was one of the Russians and all that. Back with Ivan and Nikita and that whole little run that he had. So Repo Man and all these other characters that he portrayed. So I still kind of they deserving it just. But we talked about this before with the WWE Hall of Fame. It's a little weird because what's their criteria is not really a criteria. Most of them are WWE wrestlers, but then you have some who really didn't participate in WWE that was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame, which is, it's all good to me because I still look at it like if it's a Hall of Fame, it's a Hall of Fame, even though we know that it's more of a WWE Hall of Fame. But we're definitely on the same page because when Rock and Roll Express was inducted, we're like, well, where's Midnight Express?
Right. And that's the thing I wanted to get at. Like the Midnight Express is still not in there. And you've already lost Bobby Eaton, so you still have Stan Lane, you still have Dennis Condrey, and Lord knows if they'll ever let Jim Cornette back on WWE TV ever again, but it's to the point where, man, if you look at the feuds and the longevity, and Midnight Express so deserved to be in there no matter where. Like you say, you've got the Great Muta, never wrestled a lick in WWE. You got the Rock and Roll Express that had, I wouldn't even call that a run because it didn't even last not even 6 months. And they were also under the NWA umbrella. And the Rock and Roll, they weren't even together at first when they went to Smoky Mountain. So
and they were way past their prime.
Yeah, to a certain extent with guys, it's funny to say that they were way past their prime back in the 90s because they're still wrestling now. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? It still, Father Time, undefeated. Which I respect the fact that they still wrestling now. It's amazing to me. Hell, Sting wrestled till he was in his 60s or whatever, which is still amazing to me. So I'm not, look at Jericho and, even now with Randy Orton and whoever, CM Punk and all them guys, they're in their upper 40s. It's not like but they're still not in their prime. It was the difference of watching Cena last year to watching Cena WrestleMania 22. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. With no throwing shade to Rock and Roll Express or try to say they was old and decrepit, you know what I mean? But what I meant is Rock and Roll Express in their prime was probably arguably the most over tag team ever in the wrestling business. Ever, which that's a bold statement, but that is a reality.
Yeah, no
That's
doubt.
what I meant. That's what I meant
Yeah.
by not being in their prime.
Right. Well, Rock and Roll definitely deserved to be in there and got their flowers, but Midnight Express still deserve to be in there. If you're gonna make
Absolutely,
it,
they go hand
make,
in hand.
if you're gonna make exception for this team and that team, you can't stop because Midnight deserve to be in there. And I mean, you put all of them in there. You put Stan Lane, Dennis Condrey, and Bobby Eaton. R.I.P.
Yeah,
Bobby Eaton. But the thing about me and the way I feel about it is you don't want to wait too long till none of these guys are here.
yeah, I know.
Let some of those guys enjoy the moment and get to actually participate in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
guys like Vader and others did not get to.
Right. You got Mr. Perfect, Big Boss Man. None of them guys got to see, or not. And of course, they died real early. You know what I mean? But you just don't want that to keep happening, especially when you have the platform to put them in. So. But shout out to the Midnight Express, man. You guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. R.I.P. Bobby Eaton. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, and just give you the lineup so far, you got Stephanie McMahon, AJ, and Demolition. I'm anxious to see because remember last year they started inducting matches.
Right.
I'm anxious to see what kind of matches inducted this year. To me, that would be kind of harder than putting actual individuals in there.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, if it's something new, and then you gotta break down, okay, well, what match are we putting? I mean, that just seems like that would be a real long, deep discussion trying to figure out what match you would put in there. But I'm definitely anxious to see that. So Devon Dudley this week said that that they should put
TLC.
No, damn, I had it. Mine went blank. Devon thinks Spike Dudley should be in the Hall of Fame and should be inducted this year.
Really? No shade to Spike.
Right.
But really, I can name quite a few more superstars from the past that I would induct way before I even think of inducting Spike Dudley. I'm not disrespecting to what Spike Dudley was to the wrestling business, how he was over. And for the size he was, the way he looked, I mean, it worked. The gimmick worked. Plus, he's a part of that. You can't mention the Dudley tribe without Spike Dudley.
Right.
And I'm talking about all the way back to ECW when there was 100 of them.
Right.
Spike made it to WWE for being Spike Dudley. No shade to Spike Dudley. But when we talking about Hall of Fame here, which it's watered down, it's WWE. But Spike Dudley,
the resume doesn't fit.
Really? Yeah, I can't get with Devon on that one. I can't get with Devon on that one.
And I don't know if that's one of them things where you're just too close to somebody that was a part of your little faction or whatever, and you want to throw them in there. And I get that. You want your buddies and stuff to get exactly what you got, but the resume does not fit. The resume does not fit. And you said no disrespect to Spike Dudley, but I don't know if Devon wants to get the whole Dudley family in there so he could be a 2-time Hall of Famer. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but
but even the whole Dudley family is not the Dudley boys. That's different, But I wouldn't, as a faction, I wouldn't even put the whole. It's a fun story to tell, as far as explaining to where the Dudleys came from.
Right, but they didn't have the type of impact,
right,
in the because just like you said, like let's just take Booker T for example. He had a hell of a run as a singles wrestler, 5-time WCW champion, and he won the world title in WWE like 2 or 3 times. But they was a hell of a tag team as Harlem Heat, as we had a tag team special a few weeks ago. Harlem Heat, well, talk about Black History Month, but Harlem Heat is one of the best tag teams of the
Ever.
modern era.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Booker T deserved to be a 2-time Hall of Famer, but Devon and I'm gonna call him Bully Ray, their singles run does not compare to anybody. Like, they got inducted as a tag team, which they should.
Right. Yeah.
But neither one of them had a singles run. Bully Ray had a decent singles run later with TNA and when he became Bully Ray and all that. But still, that was back in his career. And yeah, he had an impact, no pun intended, for that time. But far as longevity, no, they were known as a tag team.
Right.
For all the years, So
yeah, and it ain't like they brought him in. They brought Bully Ray back for the Rumble.
Yeah.
But to bring them back full time, they not coming back as singles. They coming back as a tag team.
Absolutely.
That's what they're known for. And again, no disrespect to the singles run, even with Devon with the aces and eights. Anything he had was with somebody.
Right.
Even when he was doing the Reverend, he still had Batista with him.
Right.
Right. Like, he's never really been by himself. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, who knows? But if you put Spike Dudley in there in the next 10 years, if you put him there and all, it's ridiculous. But if you would do it, you're doing so many other people's injustice.
Yeah.
Just to be real, just to be all the way real about it.
Yeah.
So. But, we'll have a couple of more I think it'll be probably 1 or 2 more inductees for the Hall of Fame and then the match or whatever. And, look forward to that. Really look forward to I'm anxious to see who's going to induct AJ Styles.
Yeah.
I don't see them bringing in Christopher Daniels to do it. You know what I mean? It seems to me that you had them back on Raw. It seems to me that the Good Brothers would be the ones to induct them. That just seems with it to me, but we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so too. But let's talk about the end of Raw with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Before we break down the promo and talk about the promo, these guys haven't laid a hand on each other. All they're doing is just getting real personal and going back and forth. And, the Roman Reigns talking about he keeps saying when they came to me about bringing you back. Like they had to ask him, is it okay?
Like he's the gatekeeper. Yeah.
Right. I'm the key master.
Right. Right. Literally.
But the line about the 30-year-old virgins that when they live in their parents' basement and we brought you back to sell a couple of T-shirts and this
right.
And hilarious.
That was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny.
But CM Punk, as he always does, bro, he digs deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he cuts deep. And to keep bringing up about Roman Reigns is all alone. There's nobody around him. There's nobody with him. And I'm going to kill you and bury you next to your dad so you'll no longer be alone. And the thing about that is it's not a terrible thing to say because it's not like he really dissed his pops, but the death is new.
Yeah,
It's probably death like that always lingers, but it's still new.
It's still, I'm sure it still struck a nerve,
Yeah, because it's not like it happened 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
That's one of those. Even as a work, they cut these promos. They trying to sell this match, but even as a work, I bet Roman still was like, "Damn, you had to say it like that,"
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Right.
And then because all you hear is "ooh" in the crowd, and that's all you would have heard at anybody's house watching it that night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the wall, all you would have heard was "ooh."
Yeah.
But I like the fact that there's no action. There's no action. There's nothing but mouthpiece from both of them. They're both cooking each other. Roman got the best of him last week. CM Punk got the best of him this week,
Right.
And I just like the way they're going with it. I don't think they should touch each other until main WrestleMania. I don't think they should do it. Maybe a tag match against each other, something like that, for a little warm up for Roman Reigns, because he's gonna do something before Mania.
You know how WWE will do. Or at least now McMahon. I don't know about Triple H. McMahon had them in tag match with each other as teammates.
Yeah. Sitting there mad, not trying to tag each other and hitting each other on the back when they get close, and but we'll definitely get there. Let's talk about Road Dogg. Road Dogg really quits. Now, Unreal didn't do him a lot of justice. And there's always stuff letting on the cutting room floor when they do it. So you don't see everything, and everything doesn't sell, and positivity doesn't sell a lot of times.
Right.
People want to see negativity. They want to see people down and out. And it's a shame, but that's what sells. That's what moves the meter. So from what I heard and read, and we will continue to say, this day and age, you got to be careful of everything you read, because it's no more, it ain't just the dirt sheets. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody does this AI stuff where it makes it look like it's an actual, it's actual legit article or something like that. But he got his annual review, was not happy at all, and stepped down. So, tell me what you think about that, because the story goes deeper than him just being in a position there. For them to go in the Hall of Fame with DX, and Billy Gunn wasn't working there, and they still brought him in to participate. And the stuff that they said about Vince and Triple H and HBK when they first left, when they both were not doing well is in their personal lives and stuff like that, and then get a chance to come back, win the tag team titles, just to put the Usos over at WrestleMania, giving them it was a long time coming for them to come back and mend fences and things like that. And then, Road Dogg ends up getting on the creative team. Then he's a part of SmackDown. He was helping out in NXT and all over the place. So, I just, tell me what you think about it.
Well, to be honest with you, it's just like a regular job to me. What I mean by that is that things always happen. Of course, we don't know these people, and what you said was absolutely true. We from afar, we remember the shoot interviews that they was giving, talking about, when they was bitter and all that. Then it came full circle. They mended fences and rehabs, and they got clean, and then and one thing you can't say about WWE, whether if it was Vince, whether it's Triple H, they will mend fences with people.
Right.
Always have. So, but to your point, even for him to come back and was working for the company behind the scenes, in a big time role, in a big time role as a producer and everything. However, you mentioned Unreal, and they definitely made him look like I don't want to say an idiot, but they definitely made him look like the weak link of the booking team as far as how they portrayed him in Unreal. So, of course, we're going to automatically assume that, man, he wasn't pulling his weight. Did they kind of push him out the door? Now, you're saying that, and again, we don't know how true this stuff is. And I've always believed that when there's smoke, there's fire. We don't know the true story. Probably will never know the absolute truth. However, you said that you read was that the man got a bad review, which would kind of make sense of how he was portrayed in Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bad review, and he was like, you know what? I had enough. I'm done. I don't need this shit. That basically what it sounds like. So it's almost like he just quit because he wasn't getting on. And I ain't gonna say he wasn't getting on with Triple H or whatever. It's a team as far as the writing team, and who knows how much shit he probably took, or could have been exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
That could have not have been true. Maybe he just was tired of being on the road, or who knows? Who knows? You know, but you know, it's unfortunate. You know, I just hope that no matter what happens, I'm sure hopefully he'll just be straight going forward. And I just hope that if that him and Triple H or whoever, I just hope he didn't burn no bridges within WWE going forward. Maybe he can come back for another role with the company or a Legends deal or whatever he may have going on in his future. But it's very unfortunate that, you know, like somebody like a Road Dogg who been with the company for so long, far as a performer, being behind the scenes as a front office personnel, for it to kind of, again, the way he was portrayed in Unreal, when we heard the news that he's stepping down and leaving the company for whatever reason, it was kind of like a damn, almost like we saw that coming without seeing it coming.
Yeah, and I did forget to mention that he did get approved to do a convention later on this year because, you know, they're not really allowed to do all that stuff, but he did get approved, and then they rescinded on it and said he couldn't go. And he sent out a tweet talking about he apologized, but he promised it would never happen again. So, you know, I don't know if that has something to do with it. Plus, you know, because that can piss people off because you're being acknowledged for stuff that you did before that, you know, a lot of guys that wrestlers turn producers and stuff, you don't think they take pride in the work they did in the ring and still want to be acknowledged for that and stuff like that, and interact with the friends and interact with the fans, guys they haven't seen in a long time, and make a couple of extra dollars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and this could have been one of them huge ones that they do. You know, that pay good money, or one of the vendors might have paid. Ain't no telling, man. I do want to say when the one thing that got me from the Unreal is when Triple H said his Road Dogg mind gets foggy as far as creative when it comes to his friends. And the way they're portraying it almost kind of makes it look like Triple H has just got his buddies working for him. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing with Vince. That Vince they say he had a lot of yes guys around. You know, and in Unreal, you also had Road Dogg questioning a lot of things, and that could have been an issue too.
Well,
like you say, but we don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, so, you said something there though that I kind of looked at a little different. If my understanding is correct, you saying that Triple H made a comment that Road Dogg get a little foggy. That Road Dogg gets foggy when it comes, just like with the R-Truth and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Triple H got a lot of friends working for him, just like Vince had Mr. McMahon and Patterson and Briscoe and Pat Patterson, you know, and I mentioned Pat Patterson, but Briscoe, Bruce Pritchard, you know, and a lot of people like, well, they worked for him forever. They was yes man. So what I took that as though, as he was referring to Road Dogg like the R2, like maybe if Road Dogg like a person a lot, then maybe his booking gets suspect because maybe he lose track of the big picture. Right. He don't want his friend to. He want to put his friend over or make his friend not look as bad as far as the storyline or whatever. So I mean, I get that aspect of it. So maybe they're saying he's a softie. He can't get the job done because his hardware hard on the sleeve. He gets too
Right.
invested emotionally when he's trying to book people that's close to him behind the scenes. Then that can, But I mean, you could probably say that about anybody, though, right?
Right, right, and that's always been like in a managerial a manager position when you can't really fire nobody, and you always want to get these people extra. That's not what people are looking for. They're looking for people
Right.
that don't care and want to get the job done. I remember I was working for this body shop, and the general manager was trying to groom me for to take over another shop, and this is before a whole bunch of crazy stuff went down. But this guy kept getting missing work. His thing was his wife was always in the hospital, and so the guy called me. He said, "You're gonna have to fire," and I can't remember his name to say the life. But he's like, "You're gonna have to fire so and so," and I was like, "Fire him?" He was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be one of your first tests as far as taking over and this and this." And I'm like, "All right." So I bring the guy in, and we sit there and talk, do this and do this. And he leaves, and my manager comes because he wanted me to use his office. So I'm sitting in my manager's seat, and in his office, he walks in and sit right down where the guy was sitting down across from me. He says, "So what happened?" And I said, "Shit." I said, I think I might have gave him a raise. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Man." I said, I've never heard a sob story like that all my entire life. And I was young then too. I was early 20s.
All right.
And he just started laughing. He said, "Why you think I asked you to do it?" He's like, "I can't fire him at all." He said he should have been fired months ago. You know what I'm saying? And then they asked, that was the ongoing thing, like, who's gonna try and fire him this week?
Damn, man.
And that guy ended up outlasting us all. You know what I'm saying? They came in. My manager got in all kind of trouble. They came in and fired everybody. They kept like 2-3 body men out the whole crew. Fired everybody in the office, everybody. It was my first time being fired, but I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And he was
they got outlast all y'all.
He was one of the body men they kept. You know what I mean? But if you could have seen my manager's face though when he walked, he said, "What happened?" I said, "Yeah, I think I gave him a raise." I can't even remember. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, was that the dude who son was the Cena fan?
No, this was a shot before that. No, we can't even tell those stories on here with him. All the stuff he did. You talk, man, good grief.
Man. Okay.
Oh, Phil. Phil. My name's Phil McGraw.
He said his old name.
That's what he's telling her. My name's Phil McGraw.
Phil McGraw.
And if he's listening, which I doubt he's even alive now with all of the stuff he was doing, but yeah, man, those seats are horrible.
I mother told him we was in there.
Bro, had wrestling tickets for it. Man, you ain't gonna believe this, man. Got some great tickets, man. You want to go? Yeah. Can my partner go? I call you, man. This and it, man. Seats terrible.
Well, son, when he let us see the spinner belt, like, right, we gonna take it from him.
Yeah, we did have to take it from him just to look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, watch it like a hawk.
He had it on with the hoodie, covered it up. Like he didn't.
He thought we gonna go in business for ourselves.
Hey, it's like when I look back when he was in elementary school. My mom said I wasn't allowed to let anybody play with it. You know what I mean? Let me see your bike. No, I'm not allowed to let anybody ride it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh man. Well, that'd be our first off-topic segment for tonight. Welcome to wrestling, by God. But let's get to the big news about what happened this week, and that was on SmackDown. It was the announcement made in the press conference or the after show of the Elimination Chamber with Cody and Drew McIntyre going at it again one more time for the heavyweight, for the world, not the world title, but the undisputed title. And we've got a new champion, Cody Rhodes. So what is he, 3-time champ now?
3-time champ. Yeah.
So he tied his pops.
Yeah,
So they
far
tied.
being a world champion.
Right, they tied. Yeah, and then you still got Dustin that ain't never had one. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. But Cody's the champ, and as of right now, you have Cody and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Now, we've got 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks before WrestleMania gets here. We got a Saturday night's main event. Anything can happen. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a triple threat or anything. I do think it's going to be a Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre situation at WrestleMania. Something crazy like no disqualification or, something like that. They're going to do something wild or something. But we've been talking about Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, and now we got it. Almost like a mentor versus student type deal. But they haven't really set the story yet. The story is there. You know what I'm saying? But it hasn't been set yet. So any ideas, anything you see coming forward? Are they going to try to be cordial? And then somebody's got to be the heel. They ain't going to put two babyfaces in the ring. Somebody's got to be the heel. I want to know your thoughts.
Well, I heard a stat the other day. Since they've been doing the 2-night WrestleManias, this is the first time that both of the title matches are with two baby faces. Both the title matches. Now, currently. Now, what I think is going to happen as far as Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, I think they're going to go with the respect angle. Yeah, they got 6 weeks to build this. Starting this Friday, the contract signing. I think they're going to go with the respect angle. And I think that they're going to go all the way to WrestleMania. And I think somebody's going to turn heel during either win the match in a heelish way or lose and be a sore loser and turn heel that way. Now, a lot of people will assume that that'd be Randy because he's Mr. Heel. However, I think it would be awesome if it was Cody, the one who made the heel turn. But I think that they're gonna both be baby faces going into this match. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion.
You know how I am with the heel turns and the heels. I'm all about the heels. Okay. The thing that gets me excited about Cody being a heel is you've seen Cody as a heel before in WWE, but you haven't seen the grown up Cody be a heel. You haven't seen the Cody like he was. WWE hasn't seen it. You didn't see him like he was a heel in New Japan and Ring of Honor with all the After Revival stuff and all the stuff with the Young Bucks and you haven't seen that. You know what I'm saying? The man can really bring and get heat. And I think it would be great. You got to do it. You know they're going to do it at some point. And of course, we don't know about all the stuff he does behind the scenes as far as like Cena did with all the kids and stuff. But I know it's nowhere near compared to Cena. And Cody is known to lose a crowd. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen it before. The crowd would turn on Cody. They had before. They did it in AEW. They did it in WWE. So do you do that before that happens? Is that in the back of your mind thinking that's going to happen? But regardless, to me, WWE hasn't seen what kind of heel Cody can really be. So that's what excites me about the fact that it could happen. And of course, the easy money to bet would be to bet on Randy Orton. You know, but I think that's what makes wrestling so good is you know, the surprises and, you know, not giving you exactly what, giving you what you want, but not exactly what you thought. And that's the main thing. You know, they want us to not know.
Right.
You know, that's what makes it exciting. You know what I'm saying? So
Now,
let me ask, go ahead.
But think about it though, in history, especially WWE crowds, but even you mentioned Cody, even the AEW, the crowd turned on him. But all of the white meat baby faces get turned on.
Right. The
John
Rock
Cena got turned. John Cena.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns when he was the big dog.
Yeah.
Anybody wanted that. Like we didn't start liking him till he became the tribal chief.
Right. No doubt. No doubt.
You know, Cody, I mean, of course, he had a hell of a run. But now people are acting like, you know, like they act like his run didn't exist. You know, after he beat Roman Reigns, finished the story. I thought he was a good champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
People act like, you know, he boring. What do you want to talk about? But he, like them feuds with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, and, you know, whoever. Like, dude, like, I don't get it. You know, so.
He shows up, man. He shows up and I will tell you this, they said it's by far the most unliked post on their social media. Unliked was him winning the title this past Friday.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, I get it because it's Cody and he always in the title picture, just like they were mad about Rhea Ripley winning. But I'm sure if Raquel Rodriguez, and you use that as an example, we talked about her who had a great performance. But if she would have won, people would complaining like, why is she in the main event? Yeah, or if Tiffany would have won, they've been like, well, we seen that already.
Right.
You know, so it's like, let's take the men's chamber. If Trick would have won, like they've been like, really? Like, I mean, even though they love Trick, but for the main event WrestleMania right now, no, you know, they probably would have laughed. LA Knight would have won.
Oh, bro, you know that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even though he got a great following, but still, it's like picky. The way they did it with the way Randy won the match. Okay, so you would have rather see Randy versus Drew in a WrestleMania build? I mean, they could have done that, but you knew going in with Cody and the Jacob Fatu thing that it probably wouldn't have been Randy versus Drew.
Right.
Like, it would have been shenanigans, what if it was a fatal 4-way or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. People just going to complain about wherever, just like we always talk about it. You can't please everybody. So Cody winning, they all pissed off now.
It seems like in wrestling, you can't please nobody.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, especially the wrestling fan. Everybody got some kind of platform that they want to talk about wrestling. And shit, we sitting here doing the same thing. But we're also open to tell you that we might not like it, this, and this, but we love this, and this. We love wrestling. You know, from the Indies to the freaking WrestleMania. You know, I just don't understand all the hate that comes with this. And we'll talk about, like we experienced the other night. We'll talk about that in a minute, which was crazy. But you just can't satisfy none of these wrestling fans, dog. But y'all need to get it together, man, and enjoy how much wrestling you have. Like, you've got this ain't the Monday Night Wars, man, where it's just two companies and you can catch ECW on freaking 3 o'clock in the morning. You got NXT, AEW has 2 shows, TNA comes on Thursday. You got wrestling on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Yeah, on TV. That's just on TV. You got billions of indie promotions. You got good indie promotions. You got a lot of good guys that are out here on the indie scene making a killing and having a ball. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, enjoy it. And you got freaking YouTube. You can see anything on YouTube. You can see any kind of indie shit, anything. All you gotta do is a couple of clicks. So what is there to cry about? These motherfuckers, everybody, they hate Triple H. They can't stand Tony Khan. Tony Khan's a mark. Triple H a mark for himself. Which is crazy. What I'm saying? We don't know him, but look at the track record, man. You don't spend time putting everybody over and not know what you're talking about and not giving the people what they want, man. I don't whatever. But anyway, I do want to ask you this though. When we talk about Randy Orton, Diamond Cutter or RKO?
It's RKO all day long for me. Now, don't get me wrong. Diamond Cutter actually was first.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to give DDP a shout out for that. Just I have to. But I think Randy Orton made it what it is. Like he more fluid how he does it. And then the whole out of nowhere thing and had more of an impact on people because when you see somebody do that in somebody's backyard or at a swimming pool, they're not saying Diamond Cutter.
Yeah.
They're saying RKO.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You got to give.
But Diamond Cutter was first, though. Diamond Cutter was first.
Yeah, and no doubt. And you got to give him some love as far as, the way you talk about out of nowhere. He had a whole arsenal of different ways to do it out of other moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the best RKO ever to me was WrestleMania, Seth Rollins.
31.
Yeah, with the trying to do the curve stop into that. To me, that's the best RKO ever. Just with the height that you got two sound athletes in sync making a move look tremendous.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And you can't do it without both of them. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, to me, that's cough you off, man. Cough you off. But to me, that's the best one. But I'm gonna say Diamond Cutter because like he invented the move. Yeah, and so many people use it. You got Jay Lethal, and we're not talking about Randy Orton anymore because he's it's his move too. They share that move. You understand what I'm saying?
First,
right? But you still got Jay Lethal, Cody. Who else used it? Bully Ray, the Bubba Cutter. Did the same thing. A lot of people have used it, but as far as creativity, you got to get into DDP because not only did he start doing the move, then he started doing it out of moves. Do a body slam that somebody's about to go over your back and then catch them with a diamond cutter.
True.
And so, but yeah, just curious, my brother, just curious. But yeah, man, I think it was really a impactful week in wrestling this week. Like you had a lot of backstage stuff going on with the Road Dogg, the Hall of Fame induction, and
well,
go ahead.
We did like you mentioned the match. We know Cody won. Let's talk about the match in itself. We don't have to talk about the match because we know Cody and Drew McIntyre is going to put on a banger. They have great chemistry. The match was a good match. It's a good match. Just talk, briefly about the match itself. Yeah. But what happened during the match? Of course, you had the ref bump. Boom. Okay. Familiar. We knew it was going to be shenanigans. Drew tried to get the chair. Who takes the chair from him? Jacob, which we knew he wasn't on SmackDown the whole episode. We knew anybody in their right mind knew that there's no way that man was not going to interfere, right? Now, what I will say is I was wrong as far as my prediction, because I knew, just like you knew, just like most everybody knew, Jacob was going to get involved somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But his impact of it was different
Right.
for me because, yes, he stopped Drew from using the chair, but it was like I thought it was going to be more chaos because of him and Cody. It was like I know they kind of squashed their beef in a way, but it's like that's probably going to resurface later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because we was thinking that, okay, are they going to go do a multi-man match? We knew it wasn't going to be Drew versus Randy, right? Talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
But I was thinking it was going to be like a fatal four-way or something.
Yeah, I was with you on that.
Yeah, with Jacob interfering and throwing the match out, and Nick now he mad at Jacob, you know, like he was mad at Drew, and you know, I had it, you know, it's gonna be a fatal four-way at WrestleMania, you know, or something crazy, you know, but it didn't play out that way, or at least right now, it's not that way right now, like you said. So
we sitting here thinking it's going to be something with Drew and Jacob at WrestleMania. What if it's Drew and Nick Aldis?
That'd be cool.
At WrestleMania.
I would love to see Magnus get back out there. when him and Scrap, it would be Scrap Daddy versus Braun Breaker, and Nick Aldis versus Drew.
Could you imagine having both general managers competing?
Night one and night two.
Right. And you've had plenty of general managers be involved in matches.
Right.
And Eric Bischoff's got the shit kicked out of him so many times.
It's just crazy about them two. Like, I like how they're the general managers right now because they both had pretty good wrestling careers. It just neither one of them worked
without being in the WWE.
Right. That's what's ironic about it, though. It's like they didn't work for the WWE till after their in-ring careers. Right. And both it's like
both of them are former NWA champions.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, of course, Cody won the NWA title from Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It could be cool though, man. It could be cool. You know, but it would be cool, you know, as far as them getting to work one match on WWE television and having a WrestleMania moment.
Right.
You know,
right.
And of course, you know, and you know they're blessed to be there and the job that they're given, but you're still a worker, man. You're still one of the boys at the end of the day, or you at least you feel like it, because it's not like they're really the general managers. They're talent.
Yeah, they're talent. Yeah. So like, exactly.
They're one of the boys.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're not really an authority figures behind the scenes.
Yeah. Right. It's just a authority figure on TV.
Yeah.
Just like like, you know, so you really can't suspend nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the story.
Right. Right.
You know, but having a WrestleMania moment as a worker, you know, they would love that. You gotta think they would anyway. And could you go one more time? I'm sure they could. Because Nick always don't look like he done fell off at all.
Nah.
He fill out them suits pretty good.
I like old Magnus there. And plus he married to Mickey James. Shout out to Magnus and Mickey James. You know, so hey, that's why I got respect for him.
Right. You know, at least you know we're having a good time.
Yeah. But
no disrespect, but just saying.
Right. But really though, that's interesting though, that they're general managers, and they both had pretty good wrestling careers. Both, like you said, both former NWA champions, and now they working for WWE, but past their in-ring career, you know. So you would think that would have to be a little bittersweet, to your point. Like, what if they could get a WrestleMania match or or street fight.
And it's not like they're way past their prime because they're up
Right.
there, but it's not like they're broke down, and you know what I mean. Like, yeah, it's still a possibility. So I think maybe it's something they're looking at, maybe not. I mean, they're making it look that way.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see what happens, man. Might be like I tell you, man, and we've had plenty of those gimmick matches with the legends, with, bringing Flair back and Piper, and, they would bring Snooker back before he passed, Piper before he passed, and stuff like that. But never will I forget, man, how when Steamboat came in as part of that with Sergeant Slaughter and them, as that like a gauntlet match with Jericho. And man, Steamboat hadn't been in the ring in years, man. It looked so good. He skinned the cat, did everything. And they even had a couple of more matches after that were just
with Jericho.
With Jericho. Just as good. So that's what excites me. Even though there's only one Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying that they're going to get out there and compete like he did, but he was way older than they are now when he competed and did that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was amazing to see. And he was so good, man. Still so fresh, and the moves with finesse, and could still do the body press off the top ropes. So yeah. Hey man, before we wrap it up, man, let's talk about our experience last night. And
hey, hold on, one more thing.
One more thing. This is not
I'm sorry.
on the rundown of what. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Right. But we have to mention one more thing about SmackDown. We cannot ignore Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill.
Right. Yeah. That was.
What are your thoughts? Did you see that promo?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the interaction was good, and it tells you why they made the right choice with picking Rhea.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. This is WrestleMania. You can get pissed off all you want, but it's just like football. You got to have the best players on the field. You know what I'm saying? No matter if the kid's a freshman or he's a rookie in the league, or a freshman in college, or a freshman in high school, if he is a dog and can play ball, he need to be on the field. And this is WrestleMania. Put all your best workers out there. And this is
Absolutely.
why that promo, their face off, everything is all and the way Rhea can work, and if she has to, can carry Jade all through that match. We don't think she had to carry her, but you need a ring. I did the air quotation. You need a ring general in the ring with Jade. I mean, it's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they didn't make a mistake by booking that match. They didn't make a mistake. Even if Rhea don't win.
Right.
Even if she didn't win the title, it's still going to be good. She's still going to show out. Yeah. And she's going to, I believe she'll bring the best out of Jade.
Absolutely. I agree.
So, but I like the dig at the working out to, get likes, and she works out so she can, have longevity in this business, not so she can get people and look good in different clothes. I love how they're getting personal. It's all getting personal.
I thought it was a great start to this 6-week roller coaster ride we're gonna see.
Right.
So we'll see how the story goes leading into that. But I thought it was a good start to that. That's why we had to mention that as well.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, but all right, like I was saying, before we wrap it up, we got to talk about our experience last night. And before I let you talk about it and start it off, and then we'll get going, I'm gonna tell you something at the end that might blow you away. And I had a long drive last night after I dropped you off to think about it. You know what I'm saying? And so, but we went to indie promotion last night and about 2.5 hours away in Lariato Pro Wrestling. And go ahead, man. Start it off and let's talk about
it. Well, we drove down to Dublin, Georgia.
If you will.
Going towards Statesboro, Georgia, Georgia Southern, that whole getting Macon, and you go down that highway.
Right.
The show was an indie show put on by the Good Brothers, Big LC, Luke Gallows, his promotion, if I'm not mistaken, he's the owner of.
Right.
Larry Auto Pro Wrestling, right?
Right.
Now, been a few indie shows over the past 2 years or so, quite frequently. Really been digging deep in this stuff, and I really like the indie shows in the environment. You can tell who's really invested, and even it could be a wrestler that we have no clue who they are, but you see how the crowd react to certain people because they know who they are because they wrestle. It's not their first rodeo in this indie promotion that we're going to see.
Right.
But going down there, didn't quite know what to expect as far as meeting the Good Brothers. But I will say this, and a lot of times when you experience events, it's easy to say, man, that's one of the best experiences I ever had.
Yeah.
Because it just happened. Sometimes you got to let things marinate and look back at it. Just like I mentioned the AEW show. Remember on the drive back, I was like, we saw Okada and all them, like for real.
Really had to sink in.
We're going to look back at that years from now and be like, man, that was a cool show we went to that night, But last night was a whole different, that was a whole just off top. It was just, we didn't have to see the wrestling.
Right. Yeah. The interaction was worth the drive by itself.
Yeah. So, but I will let you take over on the interaction.
Yeah. So, we get there, and if you guys remember, we had a gentleman named Emerson at Hill Emerson on the a show a couple of weeks ago, and he was also at the show. And shout out to Emerson. But hit him up. We about 10 minutes away. He was like, "We're at the merch table. Just come in and take a right." And he's locked in with the Good Brothers and a part of the Talking Shop and some different things that they got going on, and does a lot of work with them as well. So anything close to Georgia or anything like that, he's going. So we had been setting up to go, man, excited. Had a few small conversations on Instagram with Carl Anderson, and then in the chat on the Patreon with Talking Shop and Luke Gallows and stuff like that. But you see how they're down to earth, but you don't know what to really expect when you meet them and stuff. And so we get there, we walk in, and we just checking out the scene or whatever, looking at the ring and stuff, and then book that right to go over there to the merch table. There they are. And we're like, damn, it's the Good Brothers. And let's be real. You don't see the Good Brothers on WWE right now because they're not with the company. But these guys have been tag teaming together, Bullet Club, really ran Japan for a minute. That's where they're coming up with Finn Balor and of course you got Doc Gallows, who was Festus. He was a part of the
right,
the Straight Edge Society, the Fake Kane. Like, dude has been doing it since young, you know what I'm saying? And like, so these guys are known. These guys are worldwide known. You
Right.
know, they still get crazy love in Japan. They get crazy love everywhere they go. So you really got two guys that are killing it on the indies and are still as famous as they were in WWE. And you see all the reactions on YouTube and stuff with all these YouTubers and everything. Everybody went crazy when they seen them on the Raw reunion. You know, so it's not like these guys are you know, just famous in Georgia. You know what I'm saying, on the indie
Right.
scene or not like, you know, so
Right.
it's safe to, what I'm trying to say is I definitely marked out a little bit inside when we walked up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different when you're typing and then you see them, you're like, oh shit. You know, there they go. And
Yeah. Like,
so, yeah.
yeah.
And so we, you know, they're talking to everybody over there, and then we see Emerson go dap Emerson up. And then Carl Anderson,
Hmm.
the machine gun, just
Yeah.
automatically just bam, bam, you know, dapping up. Hey man, glad you could make it, bro. Bro, it's good to meet you in person. And these dudes are just down to earth, as humble as can be.
Man.
And that was, to me, that wasn't even the best part.
Right.
You know, and the interaction was so cool, you know what I'm saying? I can't even describe how cool it was. You know, got to take a picture with them, all that stuff. And they're just, you know, and it wasn't just like, hey, give me your money, sign something. Yes, thank you for coming.
Right.
You know,
Right.
actual conversation. And it happened 3 and 4 and 5 different times where we got to interact with them. You
Right.
know, and the fact that they were making time. So
Right.
one of the coolest things to me was when they had an 8-man tag. It was a tag team, indie tag team called the I can't remember what the Highwaymen. I believe they were on Ring of Honor at one point in time. And then you had a tag team called the Great Hands. And they took on Badass Billy Gunn, the Good Brothers, and Doc Gallows' son, CJ Gallows.
Right.
I think this might be his second or third match that he's had. You know, so he's training his son up. His son, you know, definitely wants to be in the business. And then look pretty good. Look pretty damn good. You know, he got big size on him and everything. So, you know, it's you with the talent that you already have around you and the love that you're going to get from every other wrestler, because they love your dad, they love Carl, they're going to give you everything you can. You know what I mean? But I think Doc is going to, you know, of course they're going to make him earn it. But he got so much, like, you know, it's there for him to take advantage of if he takes advantage of it, which it looks like he will. You know what I mean? To see them in the ring and the stuff that they were doing, and they just looked like they was just having so much fun, man.
Right.
And they don't have nobody to answer to. And they were just having a ball. You know, during the match, stopping, taking selfies with the fans, and then go right back to hitting somebody and, you know, starting up chants and laughing. And, you know, when they won the match, and I peeped and I watched Doc Gallows grab his son and hug him and even kissed him on the cheek. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even on the cheek, but like a dad kiss, you know, like a proud dad kiss on the head cheek type deal.
Right. Right.
And I was just thinking, like, man, it's got to be one of the coolest things to be, not only to be proud of your son for chasing his dream and working hard and trying to make it happen, but he's also chasing the dream that was your dream that you're still chasing. And now y'all get to chase it together. You know what I'm saying? So I thought, like, man, I was just sitting there thinking when it happened, I was like, it's got to be one of the most proudest dad moments that it can be. You know, because, you know, when it's nothing like being a dad, man. Being a dad is the hardest, best non-paying job there is. Because you ain't gonna get paid money-wise, but it's a job. And it's the hardest, best job there is, because it's nothing better than being proud of your sons, man. Of course, your kids regardless, you know, but your son, you know, and them being successful, or finally the light bulb finally turns on when they're a teenager and they start really taking, an interest in their future and stuff like that. It don't get no better than that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It makes all the discipline and all the hard shit you had to take at work just to give them everything they want, makes it all worth it. And it's all worth it anyway, because they're your kids. You know what I'm saying? But when they return the favor and you're proud of them, that they're in college or doing things that you never even thought of that you could do, but they're getting to do.
Right.
It ain't nothing like it. So, man, I just thought that was one of the cool, and I know I'm rambling on, but I just thought it was so cool, man. And I just loved how much fun they were having. And it's like, I actually talked to Carl about it afterwards, and I was like, man, you guys look like you're having a ball. He was like, you don't want to get fired from the WWE, but it's like every time they turn around, something's just is positivity after positive. And shout out to Carl, man, because he's sober and been sober for, I can't remember how long it's been, but I even told you, like, I thought I've been digging them since New Japan, and like in the Bullet Club and all that stuff. When I first found out about the Bullet Club, and you would see them and see Carl in the G1 and stuff like that. But
right, when he used to do the machine gun,
yeah. And I would always listen to the Talking Shop podcast, even when they were doing it in hotels in Japan, and just when it was the best worst podcast ever. And I thought, Carl Anderson, I was like, Carl's cool, but I bet he's an asshole. You know what I'm saying? I swear I thought that, and I told you that, and I was like, man, I promise, like, if you ever, how you think about if you ever run into somebody like wrestlers and shit. Yeah, Carl's gonna be an asshole. Man, I felt stupid for even thinking one of the coolest people I've ever met, and not to blow smoke or anything, but we've had quite a few interaction with professional wrestlers. And that by far is in my top 3 of what happened last night. You know what I mean? Like I say, we had ringside seats. They came over there and showed us love during the intro. When they came out, they were over there talking to us when they, was yelling at us from the ring and shit. It was cool as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And I felt like,
and
like I say, ain't blowing smoke or nothing, and we ain't sitting here kissing nobody's ass. We're just saying that they just regular dudes, man. Regular, humble dudes. I don't even think they really know how famous they are. And they might just not give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? That experience last night, like, just being real, like, our interaction was like they was a part of the crew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was really like some guys that you feel like you can hang out with.
Right.
Right. And they was down to earth and felt genuine, and like you said, their spirit, like they was happy.
Right.
It was real good vibes last night, man. Like, even just the show itself. So definitely worth the trip. And I know you've been in a part of the Nest and Talking Shop, and it's not your first rodeo, but this is the first
first time meeting in person and real live
in person.
Yeah. And we even talked about it on the way down there. Yeah. I was like, man, I said, I hope they're as cool as they seem like on the shit. You know what I'm saying? On the page. I said, I hope they're as cool as in person.
Right.
And you was like, man, it's gonna be cool. And I was just like, you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Never know, though. You never know.
You never know you're gonna catch somebody on a bad day.
Yeah.
Wife called you 3 or 4 times while you trying to sign autograph. You never know.
Right.
But the bottom line is Lariato Pro Wrestling, even the wrestling was good. I like the way they did it as far as the matches weren't long, so they was able to get a lot of action going quickly.
Yeah, the matches definitely were going by 4 minutes, 7 minutes, like.
And then when the Good Brothers and them came out, then they could play around and mess around and take a long time on the intros and before they finally locked up and just mess around with each other and no, I'm gonna start it. No, I want CJ. He's gonna start.
Right.
So
right.
I like the way they did everything. And like I ain't gonna lie, like bro, the interaction was so cool. It's hard to say. It's hard to top that. The only thing that would top that would be Fonzie and Robert Gibson. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that tops that because I keep in touch with them and talk to them and me and Robert kick it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the only way. It's like they're all tied at number. It's like they're all tied at number one if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a three-way one, and then you got AJ at 2 because we've talked about it before. The meeting AJ Styles, even it was a young AJ Styles. You know, this is back when TNA still using the NWA title.
Yeah.
You know, but getting to meet him and you know, as a wrestling fan, for him to say, you know, guys, I wish I could have gave you more. You know, and he wrestled abyss and had stitches in his lip from a match earlier that week. And for him to look you in the eye and say, I wish I could have gave you more. Like he's been our guy ever since. And he was already our guy, but after hearing that, like, you know, this guy's for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
AJ's been out there ever since that day. So
we mark it out like, so you're AJ Styles. You know, yeah, he like, man, I you know, I should have did one more dive or something. You know what I mean? Nah.
Yeah, I should have did a shooting star press off the top rope onto the floor for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we didn't need all that. You know, hey, a couple of dive over the ropes, the you know what I'm saying, the thing over the top rope and the springboard, we're good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'll tell you, now this is funny. You talk about Doc Gallows. So, you know, there's no shame in us, dog. This is Welcome to Wrasslin. We trying to get people on. So I know you have, I have, bro. I have hit everybody up on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Hey, trying to get you on a podcast, new podcast, this. So Doc Gallows hit me back. And this was, you know, a little while back then. You know, just like right after they got let go and he got back on Facebook and stuff. And I had hit him back and then he hit me back. I was like, oh shit. I kind of marked out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He was like, how long is the podcast? And I was like, oh, we've been doing it for about a year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's asking it like, how long do you want us on there? You know what I'm saying? It caught me off guard that he hit me back because a lot of them don't hit you back. Just be real.
15 minutes. Yeah, he wanted to hear like 30 minutes. Yeah.
That's what I should have said. Oh, just about 30 minutes, man, be great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was like, oh, we've been doing it almost a year. You know, I bet you he was like, this dummy. You know what I'm saying? We done hit so many people back. And you can imagine how many messages they get.
Yeah, true. That's
you
true.
Know what I'm saying? Especially with unknown people saying, hey, once you're on my podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, 2 more marks with a wrestling show that want to tell me that everything they know and everything I did.
Yeah, you know, I mean that's true though. You know,
yes, and that's why we try to separate ourselves from. You know, we don't. I mean, I want to get people on there and give them the flowers, but I want to know about stuff that I think about that they don't talk about it and different things like that. I don't want to sit here and just say, you know, and listen. Everybody's a fan. Cody said it best. Every time you see somebody, the first thing you automatically want to say is, hey, you remember when you did this? You know what I'm saying? Well, of course they do, because they did it. And then you got, you know, everybody at the airport says the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
we just learned to, you know what I'm saying, not say the first thing that comes to your mind, which is gonna be some old wrestling. I think I'm a smart Mark bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, real, for real.
Right. But I tell you, man, the experience was great. And riding home after we kicked it for a minute, dropped y'all, and it's just raining, and let's just be real, we was up there in that upper echelon of feeling good. You know what I mean? That long ride home.
We on that McAfee. We was on that McAfee.
But all the way home, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, the Steiners might be number 2. You know what I'm saying? I think the Good Brothers might be my favorite tag team after last night.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you,
know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
With the interaction, and we've met, like, we've both met the Steiner brothers before. Rick Steiner,
different occasions. Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Steiner's cool as hell, and Scott Steiner, I'm sure, is cool, but Scott Steiner just not nobody you just gonna run up on and just start talking to.
Dude, I told you that man mugged me at the water fountain, that main event.
Right.
I was like, he said, "What's up, man?" I looked at him. I tried to be tough. I said, "What's up?" He gave me the head nod.
Yeah. Well, I had met him at the one of them NWA Legend Fan Fest. And, you can just tell by body language. Scott Steiner got his sunglasses on. He's being polite, but he's being standoffish. You know what I'm saying?
He'll pack somebody up today.
Right. And and Rick was just being cool and talking to everybody, just and
right.
calling, yelling at the Nasty Boys, calling them fat and all that stuff, just having a good old time. So and the Steiners ain't have a short line, so I'm in the line, and I finally get up there and I look at him and I said, ask Scott Steiner, I said, "Hey," I said, in this picture, I said, "Why don't you hang off my bicep?" You know what I'm saying? And he started out of nowhere, it came that little grin, and Rick started to bust out laughing, and then like I had one of the best pictures with them because he kind of lightened up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because he's big pump, and I'm telling him, "Why don't you hang off my bicep?"
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to pack you up.
Right. You know what it is, man.
Put in the style. Hey, you just style and recline on the table.
You'll be sitting there talking about you finna fight Scott Steiner and done been slammed twice and wrapped up, not even know what's going on. You're there like stretching like Stu. We'll put your head right here and just squeeze back. That bus starts that you got a 33rd and 1/3 chance of getting out of this place alive.
Hey, all right, now that's 2 weeks in a row, bro.
What?
Steiner. We had apologized to him last week.
What we do last week?
So we was talking about him.
Man, ask us. And we'll tell you that it's stuck.
This week you go so they moved down on your ranking. Oh man. You finna have us a welcome to wrestling WrestleMania match. Larry Evans versus Rick and Scott. See you y'all getting us into some stuff, man. Now we gonna have to fight off the Steiners. They still my favorite though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I understand. I'm being serious now. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
With the interaction, we already liked them anyway.
Yeah.
that whole thing, absolutely. Yeah. And they was, I know it was probably different for you than it was for me, but for me, it was the same. Probably
Yeah.
not as in depth, but even with this, we in this together,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good for you, good for me, and just being real about everything. But also them just being down to earth and really like that was cool.
Yeah.
Just the
Yeah.
whole interaction of everything, man, and just the fan in it, us being fans, because we're still fans. Obviously, we do
Right.
this because we're fans of the business.
Right.
Good brothers. So, um, but just the fan interaction and just it, I didn't. It didn't feel like we were just like you said, marks or fans. It was like they felt like some of the homies, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That was the
it
crazy
was
thing, man.
like yeah, it was like they were real down to earth and
Yeah. And
like
humble
there's
dudes, man.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, humble dudes, man. Humble dudes. So I tell you what, man, if you ever get a chance to check out Lariato Pro Wrestling, um, when they got next time they got a show, we'll put it up in here and put a little the little flyer or whatever. I think they actually got one next week in Jackson. So, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, and we're gonna get back to a next one. Baseball for me about to get crazy. So, we're gonna be super busy. But
Might get your Bobby Cox on, huh?
hey, yes, sir. But yeah, man, I told you on Evan Jr. team, I don't got not one coach. It's just me.
Damn.
I had yesterday when we played early yesterday morning, the first game. Whoever made the last out was who was coaching first base with a helmet on for with the kids.
Yeah, 'cause we know they last in batting order.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Whoever last in the batting order start the first inning, and everybody who made the last out, they go coach first base the next inning.
Yeah.
Zero help. Zero.
Damn.
But yeah, man. So it's crazy. But yeah, man, I love it. So love being around my boys and like to help out the other the other kids and just what I'm saying.
Watch them develop and they
man,
grow up and I mean all that. Yeah.
I'll tell you, when I thought, and I'll be real honest with you, we way off topic now, but it's welcome to wrestling. We do whatever the hell we want. I thought when I quit coaching football to coach the boys, because I wanted the boys to have a good experience. And I knew them playing baseball late, and I didn't want them to be stuck on some team just stuck in right field. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I signed up to coach them, because I won't do my kids like that, but I also won't do nobody else kid like that. And I always, I always give kids the opportunity to do different stuff and, so, but I thought, man, I was like, I'm going to miss football, even though I needed a break. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was going to be nothing to fill that void, but this has filled that void and then some. Like I don't miss football at all, especially summertime.
I bet. No, and then like you said, you coaching your sons while you at it, both their teams. I mean, that's cool. Absolutely. So you can't beat that even.
It's at a point now where this is the last time I get to coach Evan Jr. and I'll get to coach Bryant for like another 2 seasons.
Okay.
Another year, and that'll be it.
Right,
and I think I'm done.
Okay.
I don't even think I'm gonna go back and coach high school football again. So I think I'm done. But it's been a long time, man. I've been, the football was about 14 years, and then been doing this for the last 6 or 7 years. So, it might be about 5 years. So, but yeah, man, we about wore out now. You know what I'm saying? But hey,
yeah, we came a long way though. Real quick, I know we're wrapping it up, but just thinking of the coach of the football and the Canes and that whole dynamic, me officiating, and
that was wild, man.
we got some stories.
we have to do a Georgia Cane podcast.
Hey, for real. That's a good idea for an episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So,
but
shout out Georgia K, man. Shout out to Disco, man. Wherever you hiding at, man. Shout out to Disco. But yeah, man. But look, it's been another episode 64. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button every time we come on. Your phone will pop up, let you know, hey, them Wrasslin boys is on. I gotta check them out. And before we go, this episode has been brought to you by Alpha Mac Transport. For all your towing needs in the Metro Atlanta area, call 770-694-0634 and mention Welcome to Wrasslin and get 10% off your towing bill. Alpha Mac Transport. Hey, man, as always, man, it's Welcome to Wrasslin. It's WrestleMania season. We done met the Good Brothers. Man, life is looking good. Welcome to Wrasslin, man. The future is bright. And the future is bright.
Shout out Good Brothers.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Shout out to Emerson, Dominguez, Big Mel, all them guys involved, man. Yeah, man. So, but yeah, it's Welcome to Wrasslin. We'll be in the back next week with whatever we got going on, whatever topics happen, whatever crazy stuff happens this weekend, behind the scenes or on TV next week, we'll be back to talk about it. Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin, Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the PODCAST, tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me.